Don't worry, you're dead now. Oh, oh God, I hate fucking bugs so much.
This definitely needs to be a blooper. Hello and welcome to another episode of Horror Ghouls After Dark. These are our special episodes where we get together and we talk about whatever we want. And it's usually horror related. And sometimes it's weird and sometimes it's funny and we don't know what's going to happen until it happens. We are your horror ghouls. My name is Megan.
I see.
And welcome back, or whatever. If you're new, if you're not new, we appreciate you all the same. We are going to talk about two movies today. The first one we're going to talk about is Clown in a Cornfield, which I have seen and you have not yet seen, right?
Correct.
We're
Yes,
not
I'm
going to,
boycotting until fall.
yes, we're not going to spoil this movie. We're going to give you a little information about it. Clown in a Cornfield is a 2025 American slasher film. It was directed by Eli Craig. Also, for your guys' information, these fun facts are coming from Wikipedia, just so no one ever sues us or gets weird about you guys plagiarized. It's just from Wikipedia, okay? This was actually based on a book that was written for young adults, also called Clown in a Cornfield, and it's from 2020, so it's a relatively newer book.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
I'm definitely a reader. This did not come across or come into my periphery, probably because it was geared towards young adults. But I want to tell you a little bit about the movie. In 1991, in the town of Kettle Springs, Missouri, a group of teenagers party near the old Bay Pen corn syrup factory. Two teens sneak off into the nearby cornfield and are killed by Bay Pen's mascot, Friendo the clown. Why people choose to have clowns as their mascots, I don't know. That's none of my business. Is the present day Quinn and her father Glenn relocate to Kettle Springs, where Glenn, the dad, has taken a new job as the town doctor. It's very definitely small town vibes. Their relationship is strained following the death of Quinn's mother. She receives the daughter, that is Quinn, a detention during her first class. It's not a great way to start out. That's not really her fault, but not going to get too much into the details of that. She winds up making friends with Cole, and that's the son of the mayor, Arthur, and his group of friends. Cole kind of adopts Quinn into this group and they go hang out, and he winds up showing her these horror parody videos they've been creating for their YouTube, and they're all featuring a psychotic version of Friendo wreaking havoc across Springs. So one of the things they like to do is they like to hang out in the old Bay Pen factory, which adds like another element of creepiness to it. He also explains the story of the burned down Bay Pen factory, which is the one they hang out in, which the town blames on their friend group. So this friend group's kind of like a group of outcasts. It's interesting. Like I said, the movie's called Clown in a Cornfield. So at some point there is clown action in
Clowns in
the
the car, Cornfield.
cornfield. So it's interesting. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but the reason this kind of all kicks off in the movie, which is I think they did this part well, when they're checking one of the recent recordings of the movies they make, and they see the kid playing the prank, like dressed as Friendo, like run up and whatever. And when Quinn's watching the video, she notices there's another one in the background, like off to the side. And she's like, well, who the F is that then? So everyone starts freaking out a little bit. So kind of the shit starts to hit the fan. There's a Founders Day festival, as you do in like small towns, I guess. And hilarity and chaos ensues. It's not a paranormal thing. It's very much like there's a slasher who dresses as a clown who's wreaking havoc on the town. I didn't mean to rhyme that. It was just for fun. This movie definitely felt very geared towards like a teen movie. Like I went in kind of expecting it to be scarier than it was. There were definitely some good, interesting kills, I thought, but it does kind of follow like the trope of like the slasher being revealed and you find out who he is, and like are there like ties rather like underlying throughout the small town. They do kind of play that like, is it the bad teens? Is it like someone who has a grudge against the teens in the town? Like it's one of those that kind of deals. Not really scary. I paid $10 to see this at an AMC on a Tuesday. I didn't feel like it was a great use of that $10, I'm not gonna
And I
lie.
was going to watch this for this After Dark, and then I saw
Despite the fact that you,
that I
yeah,
was boycotting until fall.
right.
But it said it was 19.99, and I remembered you paid $10, and I said, no, thank
Mm-mm.
you. No,
No,
ma'am, I will not.
no.
So
So, according to Wikipedia too, it says the film received generally positive reviews from critics.
yeah, I kind of was looking at that. It's very interesting, actually. I'm not going to read through because they're basically saying like, oh, it's some cliches. It has grisly kills. It's well paced. But Rotten Tomatoes a 73% critic score, with a 59% audience score, and Metacritic was around 55 out of 100 for critics. Cinema Score gave it a grade. Well,
F.
yeah, no,
Just kidding.
C plus. It's lukewarm with 44% saying they definitely recommend it. Critics really like the stylish kills, the practical gore. They said Katie Douglas's performance brings emotional weight, who I don't know who Katie Douglas is
I'm
in
assuming
this
it's the
movie.
lead. Yeah, it's the lead.
Okay. And they said it was an effective balance between chill-inducing moments and tongue-in-cheek humor, but what fell flat was it was a very weak dialogue and underdeveloped characters, especially among adult roles. They said Friendo is not iconic and does not stand out, and it lacked real scares or fresh twists on the slasher formula.
I honestly would agree. And when you see it, I would definitely like to know your thoughts and feelings about it. I do feel like the friendo part, he is kind of generic and he almost gets like lost, right?
Yeah.
They really focus so much on the kids that like there is a point where the adults come into play and there's really nothing. It's kind of bland to me. I don't know. We've talked before, everyone knows by now my fear of clowns, right? So when I see something like this and I watch something like this, I kind of anticipate that's going to be very scary because people play off clowns because they know they're terrifying. Didn't really get there for me because it was just like people. And
Yeah.
also, and I'll say this is all I'm going to say about it. When you see Friendo at different points, it looks like he's like different sizes or his body is like different shapes. So it's like, I don't know. I didn't love it. I'm going to say what I said recently about another movie. It was mid. It was mid for me.
Well, I will say maybe Friendo was different sizes because their production budget was $2 million. They did break at least even their worldwide gross thus far is 3.9 million, including 3.65 million from domestic and 0.25 million from international sales. And so this was a modest theatrical run. That's only theatrical, it's not video on demand just yet, not streaming. And it said, this was a low budget film. So perhaps Friendo was played by different people.
Well, but I will say this. Looking at it, if you're telling me it's low budget and thinking back through the movie, I think it was shot well. I think the way that things were done was well, even though I don't necessarily like love the story with a budget
Right.
that's kind of on the small side. That's a little more impressive to me, but it doesn't kind of change how I feel about
Oh
the
yeah.
movie in general. And just because I know you haven't seen it, I would probably give it, like I said, mid, like a five.
Okay.
Between a 5 to 6, I would say.
I think for fall, like I said previously about this movie, I feel like anytime you have a cornfield or some type of horror that involves a cornfield with a clown, I feel like that type of stuff is a fall, Halloween, October, late September type movie.
Yeah.
I'll even give you if you give me August. I'll take late August even. But you
You know what?
premiered this in May, and it's like, why? This is
Right.
too early for this type of movie. And so it doesn't appeal to me. Like right now, we're doing our summer slasher series. Those are the type of horrors I want to see personally. I want to
Right.
see the ones that take place at camps or at the beach or just summertime in general. I'm not ready for my hot apple cider and my pumpkin spice lattes yet. I gotta wait until at least August to get that. So don't give me
Yeah.
clowns in a cornfield so early in the year.
I get you. You know what I would have liked? And do you guys have, yeah, I feel like you probably have it over there in fall, like a haunted corn maze?
Oh, plenty, plenty,
Yeah.
plenty, plenty.
Oh yeah. Every corner, there's the
Yeah.
haunted cornfield. So I have a memory of my friend and her mom taking me and like a few other friends. We had to be middle school, right? There were like stops, like I guess they would like introduce you to characters before they kind of set you free. And at maybe like the second one, there was like this guy talking and there was a clown. So my friend goes to her mom. She goes, "Mom, I don't like clowns." And as the clown like disappears into the corn, she it was a lady clown. She was like, "We don't like you either."
Oop,
It's like a
I
vivid
love it.
memory that's stuck in my head. But I would like a movie about that because I think that's one of the things that's creepy about like a haunted house in general or a corn maze, right? Is that who are the people that actually work at those places?
I would love that. Yeah.
right? Who are the people? Like maybe most of them are like, this is fun. I like to do this. But maybe some of them are fucking psychopaths. And
I
they
always
just
think
need
that.
an in. And especially people who are clowns who are concealing their identity, not to go on my clown TED talk again about why we shouldn't trust them. But I think that could be a very interesting movie. This, like I said, it was just like random. It's like there was a factory or like a, what was it? Yeah, a factory. I was right. Corn syrup factory. And there's a mascot. And then the mascot's in the tent, like, meh. It's what it was fun. I bet the book was probably interesting.
Probably so, because a lot of times, like 9 times out of 10, a book is much better than the film adaptation. It's very rare when you get a film version of a book that's good. And I will say Game of Thrones, the endings, because it was written without books,
Mm,
looking at y'all. So,
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, definitely when you watch it, at whatever point, definitely check in, let us know your thoughts and feelings because I'm certainly curious to know. I don't really have anything else on clowns and cornfields.
Nah, me
Nothing?
neither. Nope.
All right. Well, with that being said, we could probably move on to our next movie. So the next movie we're going to talk about is The Monkey, which just came out this year. It's 2025 American black comedy horror. All of my favorite things. Based on Stephen King's 1980 short story, The Monkey. This was interesting. So the lead guy, Theo James, who plays,
Bill and he
yes,
plays Bill and Hal.
yes, Hal and Bill Shelburne, right? Theo James, like I said, the actor, he's playing both the brothers, which is interesting and cool in this movie, whose lives are turned upside down by a cursed toy monkey that causes random, horrific deaths around them. Now, for me, reading that alone is enough to get me interested. Of course, Stephen King being incorporated into that. So, just to give you a little bit about the movie, a little bit of the plot. In 1999, Petey Shelburne attempts to return and destroy a drummer playing toy monkey at the antique shop. Petey is the father of the twin boys that we just mentioned. Before he can do so, the monkey plays its drums, and a chain reaction causes the shop owner to be disemboweled with a harpoon gun. That's like immediate in the movie, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Shortly after, Petey disappears, leaving his wife Lois to raise their identical twin sons. The twins eventually discover the monkey in a closet containing their father's belongings, and they wind its key. Later that evening, the monkey plays its drums while they are at hibachi. I love hibachi, triggering the babysitter Annie's accidental decapitation. That's all I'm going to give you just to start off. I don't know where this conversation will go, but just to give you like a little bit of like a taste of the movie. And we both did see this. I saw it a while ago. You just watched it recently,
I watched it today.
literally
Today,
today,
the day we were filming this, I
after
watched it.
dark.
Yes.
What did you think? What do you want to add to what I just said, if anything?
So I will add a few little tidbits first, our little
Tidbits.
fun facts and stuff like that. So the Monkey production budget was between 10 and 11 million dollars. Worldwide gross thus far, it's made 68.8 million. Domestically, it made 39.7, and internationally, it made 29.1 million.
Well,
It opened extremely strong, and it is one of the biggest indie horror hits of this year. Other than that, if I go to some of the critical reviews, it has mixed reviews. Some people said it's style. Well, these are critics, by the way. Some
right.
critics said it's stylish but shallow. Some said it's visually inventive and gory, but the film suffers from clumsy plotting, cheap humor, and shallow metaphors. It has creative kills and it's pleasantly comic, but not truly frightening, and it lacks soul. Roger Ebert gave it 3.3 out of 4 stars, praising Perkins' confident tone, striking visuals, and refusal to let characters cheat death, though acknowledging its nihilistic bent. Like it got a Rotten Tomato scores of 78% from critics. Metacritic gave it 63 out of 100. One fan in particular said, "One of the worst movies I've ever seen. This is horrible." Someone else said, "Crazy movie, gore galore, good acting, good story, fun as fuck." I mean, we have some mixed reviews here. I will say honestly, I went into this movie feeling a little less than optimistic because when you saw it, you were like, it's okay. Like you didn't really give me that much with this movie when you first saw it. So that led me to not even go see it because I was going to see it in the movies, but then I decided not to after how she did not tell me about the movie, but her perception of the movie at the time was less than enthusiastic to me. So I said, oh, all right, well, I'll just wait.
Yeah. And
So,
sometimes if I think that you are going to see something, I don't want to give you a lot because I don't want to color your takeaway.
which
So,
it
yeah.
doesn't matter because I,
I know. You always tell me that, but I always feel like I'm protecting your
I know,
movie experience. I don't
I
know why I'm
know.
doing like karate hands here. I don't know what's happening, but
But I really enjoyed this movie. I thought that this was a good time. It was very interesting. I am not into like horror comedies like that, but I will say that the comedy in this was dry enough that it really hit me pretty good. There's a scene where the monkey goes a little crazy and a whole bunch of shit happens, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh." This
there
monkey
was
is mad as
some
shit.
there are some really like creative, wacky
Yeah,
things that happened as a
there.
result of the monkey playing his little drums.
Yes, like
Yeah.
Megan touched briefly upon the scene where the babysitter Annie is at Hibachi. I think this was probably the scene that really got me because it comes right after the harpoon scene. So both those scenes are back to back practically
Mm,
in this movie. And I will say this because this isn't spoiling it, but I'm just going to talk about this. The monkey just it does what it wants to do. Okay, you can't really control this monkey, but
no.
in this scene in particular, Annie is like they're at hibachi. She's making eyes with the hibachi guy. You can tell like they're flirting with each other. And he like makes a little heart out of the rice and stuff. And it's like, oh, this could be such a fun moment. And you know, if you've ever gone to hibachi, they like flip shrimp into your mouth and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
He does some type of flare with a knife and it decapitates her. And her face hits the hibachi and sizzles. And
Yeah.
I lost my shit because I said, oh, that was so good. It was so good because I was like, yo, somebody's about to die.
No.
I don't know who. I'm thinking it's gonna be the hibachi guy, like he's gonna accidentally like flambe his face or something.
No.
Or like there's other people at the table because anytime you go hibachi, they sit you with strangers, which I don't like. But there's some strangers at the table. I'm like, maybe one of them will get done. No idea that babysitter Annie was getting ready to eat it. Or
It
what I
was
eat the dust. You know what I mess up all the time. Bite the dirt. I don't care.
bite the dust, bite the
Thank
dust, bite
you.
the dust. It's okay. But honestly, it was like fun. So I'll say
Yes.
this too. So one of my friends went to see this and she was mad because she thought it was just like a horror. But when she told me that it was like trying to be funny or whatever, it changed my expectations kind of
Mhm.
going into it. So I was very open to receive it as like a satire almost. So I was like happy, you know what I mean? Like it's not, again, it's not the best movie I've ever seen ever, but so without getting into the details, and if you saw this, you know, the pool scene. What did you think about that?
That was interesting. It was very interesting. And it's some of the kills in this movie are predictable. Like you can see it coming a mile away. This is
Yes,
one of them. But when it actually executes, it's like, oh my God. And I'm not going to say no names in this. So you don't know what is going on. But there
right.
is a character that gets something in their mouth. And I was like, oh no, not that part. But there's something that flies at them and they almost get hit. And they're like, oh my God. They're so matter of fact though. It's almost like there was some type of body part flying at you. And you're just like, oh my God, was that such and such? And that's it. That's it. And I talked about something else where somebody else had some type of thing in their mouth, and that part fucked me all the way up.
Yeah.
I think that the kills in this were very creative
Yeah.
and I will give something negative. There are
Please.
parts in this that are too dry. For example, there's like a boss in this movie that just basically says, "Damn, that sucks." For everything. You could be like, I have explosive diarrhea. Damn, that sucks. I just got married. Damn, that sucks. I just ate cake. Damn, that sucks.
I don't think I noticed that. You saw
Yeah,
this movie today. I saw
yeah,
it months ago, so
I
it's like
know.
a little, it's not the same,
So
but go on. Yes.
yeah, so I
I want
felt
to know
like
what you mean though. I want to know. How'd you know?
I just felt like that's just doing too much. It's like, okay, you're using it, and then another character uses the same line later on, and I'm just like, okay, that's enough of that. So I thought that was like a bit too much. I also thought that there was one, and well, we talked about the brothers. One of the brothers in particular, I feel like is over the top in a weird way.
Yes. I found that we had like one relatively normal brother and one almost like
Sociopath.
no, but like satirical Batman villain.
Yeah,
Almost. Like
yeah,
it was interesting because it was like the one was playing it so serious and the other one's playing it serious but almost in like a caricature of a person type way
yes,
that it was like, oh, like it takes you a minute to kind of adjust, I feel.
yeah,
But once I figured out that that was happening, I was like, oh, like I can like enjoy this more
yeah. I didn't
now.
dislike him. I just thought it was wild.
It was
Like
a surprise.
the yeah, and the
Yeah.
progression was very interesting.
Didn't he have an eye patch at one point?
No, we did not.
Did I pict did I picture that? Did I black out?
I think you must have pictured that. And it's funny because you said the father's name is Petey, and
Yeah, yeah.
I called him Patchy at one point.
Patchy.
So I mean, Petey reminded me of almost like not the sailor, but it's a pirate in the beginning of SpongeBob. And I don't know why I made that connection and then just called that man Patchy. I never called him Petey. But yeah, this was a very interesting movie. There's like a lady jogging and like her baby carriage is on fire, and then there's somebody who got like impaled by a fucking surfboard into a tree.
Yep.
I the
I'm scanning to see if I can find any other ones that
This just makes me want to read the book though, because I'm curious if how Stephen King incorporated these type of things, or if there were some type of like liberties taken to make this much more ridiculous
I
than the
feel like there
book
had to be because
is.
also they said it was a short story. But I'm curious to see,
Well, I could see how this could be a short story made into a longer version.
no, but like how short? Because it's like when people say short story, that could be like 10 pages or it could be like 100 pages. Like how short is the monkey?
Let's see whose
Oh,
internet is
32,
faster.
32 to 42 pages? Why is there such a discrepancy? Is it because of the font size?
Wait, why do I have 3 to 34 pages? That's wild.
What version is that? It's like-
It's okay. So it says the story originally appeared in the standalone pamphlets in Gallery magazine, November 1980, running about. Oh, I guess they mean the whole thing, running 3 to 34 pages. In terms of word count, the monkey clocks in at approximately 14,951 words. It was later included in King's 1985 short story collection,
The
Skeleton
Skeleton
Crew,
Crew.
where the entire
Yes.
book is 500 pages.
Right. So that's a really short story. His eyes were bugged out too, that monkey's eyes.
They were.
He was always
Okay.
like, he looked like freaked out.
The Monkey is 60 pages with standard paperback format, but 30 to 35 pages if double spaced in a Word doc with 12 point New Times Roman or Times New Roman.
That's so specific.
So,
Okay.
but I will say this, when you're writing any type of screenplay, one page is 1 minute of screen time. Typically, it
Mm-hmm.
can be. Now, this movie was 1 hour and like 37 minutes or something like that. And I only know because I had to clock it down to the minute before we started recording.
Right, right. Mm-mm.
So that's why I knew. So that would mean that if it had to be at least that many pages. So yes, I'm assuming that they did take some type of liberties to create a
Yeah.
much longer story.
So I have a fun fact for you. The original story featured a cymbal banging monkey, but the cymbals were replaced with a drum for the film.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
Psh, psh,
And
psh.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize what I was seeing before, but I've seen that.
So it says here, the original story did feature the cymbal banging monkey, but the film replaces the cymbals because according to Osgood
Director.
Perkins, he was hired to write and
Oh yeah,
direct.
that's the
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
I've seen him
So
before. I know who that is.
that's really funny.
This is gonna be like that hidden gem where people like years from now, if we ever make it, right? Somebody's gonna go back and find this deep cut and we're like, listen to this buffoonery.
This is insanity. Yeah. Welcome to the Horror Ghouls. Now you're
Right.
part of it. Now you're one of the flesh puppets too. So I can actually tell you what we were talking about before is we were talking about this monkey having cymbals that he would bang instead of drumsticks,
Yes.
and that Osgood Perkins chose that because he believed that the Walt Disney Company owned the rights to the symbol banging version of the toy on the basis of its appearance in Toy Story 3. I was going to say, would that have made the monkey a Disney princess? That's a valid
Possibly.
question.
Or
Ho
Disney Prince, who knows?
I prefer just like Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror
Yes.
became a Disney princess. So, like, I like to think of the monkey as a Disney princess because he's dressed very masculine. But I just like the idea, not unlike the Babadook, being accessible across genders. He transcends them. I don't know.
Indeed.
Perkins chose to give the film comedic elements because he thought it was more fitting for a film about a toy and wanted to distinguish the monkey from more serious horror films about possessed toys. So, with that being said, and them saying it was Perkins' choice, I wonder if King's was more spooky. Oh my God. Also, this
Well,
literally answers your question. I have a quote from Perkins that said, it starts like this because you were like, I wonder if he took liberties. He would say to you, I took liberties like a motherfucker. That's the
I love
quote.
that. I did look up the differences between both, so I can tell you a little bit of that when you're done.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is actually very interesting. So I'm going to share with you. He said, I felt the script was serious, very serious, and he said that doesn't work for me. The thing with this toy monkey is that the people around it all die in insane ways. So I thought, well, I'm an expert on that because both of my parents died in insane headline making ways, and now I just want to read about Osgood Perkins. And he said, I spent a lot of life recovering from tragedy, feeling quite bad. It all seemed inherently unfair. Oh my gosh, this is a great quote, but it's dark. He says, "You personalize the grief. Why is this happening to me? But I'm older now, and you realize this shit happens to everyone. Everyone dies. Sometimes in their sleep, sometimes in truly insane ways, like I experienced, but everyone dies. And I thought maybe the best way to approach that insane notion is with a smile."
That's
Right?
interesting.
That's why I
Yeah.
was like, I kept wanting to stop. And then as my eyes scanned ahead, I was like, this is actually a pretty good quote. So,
And I wonder if part of that quote is something that he took from the book or he put in the movie because everyone dies is a theme in this movie. And
sure
there's an
is.
actual part where there's a whole quoted part about like, I'll die, you'll die, everyone dies, your dog will die, your friends will die. And it's just like everybody dies. And so that's
I feel
very
like that part
interesting.
made me laugh, if memory serves. I
Oh
was sitting
yeah.
there like, oh,
It made me laugh too, because it was like you're chilling and all of a sudden someone's like, yeah, one day I'm gonna die and you're gonna die and your friends are gonna die and your dog is gonna die and their dog is gonna die and whatever. Everybody's gonna die one day.
I like that when it's used well. Like there's a quote, and I am going to bring up Ghost again, everyone, so just shut up about it. Um,
Ghost the
the
band.
band, not the movie with the clay and the shit, even though
Unchained Melody.
no shade to that because it's a beautiful movie and we love Patrick Swayze. Because they have their little like vignettes, their little stories and chapters on YouTube, which are kind of like skits. And there's one where they're talking about introducing one of the new characters, and the head guy is like, "No, it's always been generations of my family who have done this. My father, my father's father, my father's father's father, my father's father's," and it goes on for so long. But it's actually funny in that scenario. It's not funny when overused, but when you're kind of not expecting it, funny.
And for excuse me, those of you who don't necessarily know Megan that well, she had a whole accent during that when she was doing it. She was imitating that man's voice.
Did
I
I?
don't yes, because you went, we've done this for a long time. It's my father and my father's father and my father's father's father. That accent that you normally have was gone by. You said it, you sounded
You know,
slightly Italian or something.
did I?
Yes.
That was not even intentional. I don't know. It's weird. You know what I do too? Because I work with people, all have different accents. The customers that we deal with all have different accents. And sometimes when I'm around people with accents,
You
I
pick it
take
up.
I take a little bit of it. Like not like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like doing Cajun or anything like that. That'd be crazy, but just like a slight hint. So like I said, was not my intention, but if that's what I did, I apologize for probably doing it very poorly.
I don't think you did that bad of a job. Not at all. I think you did fine. You did just
Don't go down that road. That was more Jimmy Stewart, but we'll take it. We'll take it. The one that I just did is fine.
Let me tell you a few of the things that were different.
Yeah.
So the movie gave more of a backstory to Hal and Bill's father.
Hmm.
So,
PD.
all of that, yes, the whole front beginning part that we talked about where there's a disembowelment, that is not in the book.
It
Um
was so good too.
it was.
That was a
It
great
was.
opening. Yeah.
In the book, there also I'm sorry, in the movie, there's more screen time for the mother and the aunt, and that's just to add more emotional weight to their roles. King's version is very lean but quietly disturbing, while the movie is like a splatter fest. It's over the top deaths. So the book is much more tame than the movie, actually. Um,
Interesting. Okay.
and also, the deaths in the book are predictable and realistic, while the ones are more final destination type stuff. Also, the mechanics of the monkey itself is a little bit different in the book. The character that we talked about that may seem like some type of villain, like you said, the brother seemed like he
Yeah.
was like a villain, might not be a villain in the book. Like might not have the personality, I'll say, in the book. The book ends totally different from the movie. Overall, just to put it in perspective for those of you who have not seen this movie, the book is going to be a much more tame version. It's going to have things that are much more realistic, much more predictable. They're going to be less character development for certain characters. There's going to be some characters that are not there at all. And if you see the movie is going to be much more over the top, much more gory, and flesh out some of these characters just a bit more. Not enough for you to care, because I still don't care about any of them, but just
I don't
enough.
care about any of them.
I know they're all disposable, but but just enough for you to be to know them and to care a little bit. And I will say the twins, Hal and Bill, I did care about one of them more than the other.
Oh,
I will
yeah,
say that.
no, for sure.
Yeah,
I have a question.
yeah.
Did you care about the monkey?
Now, listen, historically, monkeys are one of my favorite animals. I love monkeys and I like flamingos. Odd combination.
Objection, irrelevant. No, I'm just kidding. We love it.
Right.
We love it. Like,
Now,
I love monkeys and I love flamingos.
yes. Now, in this movie, did I love the monkey?
We know he had bugged out eyes. I already brought that up
Yes.
because he looked a little
And
cracked out. Like he was, like a
and he had
little,
weird, like weird teeth. It was just
yeah,
like he would start out like,
yeah, like a little kid's
yeah.
school picture,
I
but a little
think
more nefarious.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that the monkey was chaotic. I loved his energy. I think that there's a part in this movie where you know that this monkey is completely sentient. Like you
Oh
know
yeah,
that he's like thinking about things, and you might not see him thinking about stuff, but you
but
know
he's
he's
thinking
thinking about
about it.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was, I think that was the moment where I said, I fucks with him. I like him. And so
Okay.
yeah, I won't say I love the monkey, but I did like the monkey as a character. Did you like the monkey? Did you like the monkey the movie?
I did like it. I thought it was fun. It was entertaining. I like when I go into a horror movie and the kills are so gross that it makes me actually smile. Like, because like you can appreciate it, and be like, interesting, but like when I'm sitting there and it actually puts a smile on my face, like I know that we have something special. So was it like an amazing movie? No, but like, are the kills alone the price worth the price of admission? I would say yes.
I would
I
say
would
so
say
too.
yes. I would say
I would
yes.
say so too. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the harpoon killing that we talked about before, so again, we're not spilling anything. I didn't expect that. The harpoon goes through a person's like stomach, and when
Yeah.
it comes out, it disembowels them and pulls their guts all the way across the room. And I was sitting there watching it, and when I saw that, I went, because I was like, I wasn't expecting it. Because normally when you see a harpoon come back out, it's like empty or it's bloody or something. I
No.
expected like blood splatter or something like that. But to see the intestines fly across the room, I was like, oh, we're not playing with a full deck on this
Oh, no.
movie.
I
So
was, like,
okay.
handing the popcorn, but I was like, I had to pause the snacks to take it all in. I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, that's how we're starting?" Like, that's how we're starting it,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a decent movie. I don't know. I can't really say much else about it without actually spilling stuff.
I know.
I feel
Well,
like with these we're going to have to start having like a small spoiler section, and we
yeah,
do have chapters for all of our videos, so you can skip that part if you want to. If you're one of those people that doesn't like to read in the description box that there are chapters, or you don't scroll and see that there's chapters and you run across a part that you don't want to hear, sucks to be you.
sucks to be
But
I love it.
we try to take every instance to make sure you're not spoiled on things you don't want to be spoiled on, or
Right.
you have trigger warnings for certain things if there needs to be trigger warnings. So,
Of
maybe
course.
at some point, I'm not going to say we do it for this movie, because I'm going to say this movie had the fucking chaotic energy of the monkey. Okay. This was one of the wildest damn videos that we've made. And
Yeah.
listen, if I edited all that other crap out and you're somebody who was listening and you heard all of it, you be lucky because you got the chaotic version. In fact,
Just like the monkey. Yeah.
when we name this, we need to put chaotic version and non-chaotic version so people can know the difference. but
We should
but
release both. Yes, we
right,
should. I think we
but
should.
but this episode is too chaotic for us to like add the spoilers in. I feel like overall, hopefully you got a gist of this movie. It's gross, it's gory, it's funny, and it's dark humor.
If you're not going in expecting it to be a terrifying, scary horror movie, terrifying and scary are the same thing essentially, but just go with me here. And you're open to it being like a bit satirical. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's still entertaining. It's still fun. So that's kind of how I sum it up. But could you also, for the kids watching at home, rate it to let them know, is it worth seeing? Should I watch this movie? The ratings will tell them the truth. So what do you think?
Indeed.
How
So
many bloody axes?
I paid $5.99 on Amazon for this, which I think was well worth the money. It was on sale from $9.99 to $5.99, so thank you for
Ooh,
that.
a bargain.
And right, and I give this movie an 8. Obviously, y'all know how I feel. 5 is good. Everything above that is great. This is not the best movie I've ever seen. By far, it's not. I will say though, this movie had me entertained. I get up and walk around a lot of times when I'm not actually like hardcore reviewing a movie. I
Mm-hmm.
had got up and walked out and somebody got killed and I had to come back and rewind it and I was like, "Oh wow, I should have stayed in here for this."
Yeah,
Um and so it's one of those movies where it's not slow. It hits you right from the beginning. Like they're hitting you like boom, 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 like right away. There's dry humor right away. There's a lot of like in the beginning, there's some like kid pranks that are over the top and
yeah.
it's a lot of stuff. And I think that this was a good time. I think it was shot really well. That those what was it? I think I said 10 to 11 million dollars or however much it was to make
Right.
this movie. It was money well spent because the effects on these kills were insane.
They're really good.
Insane. They're very,
Yeah.
very good. I think that the man and the child, because there's a child who plays both Hal and Bill too. So that's
Right.
also one actor. Both of them did a great job playing both of those roles because if you've seen Sinners, I have not, but if you have seen Sinners, I feel from what I've read and heard and seen, the characters of Smoke and Stack, a lot of people said that they were so very similar that sometimes it was
Yeah.
hard to tell them apart.
Aside, if they weren't wearing their like colored like the hat or like the tie or whatever, like you really aside from I think one of them just had like
A
a
little gold
gold
tooth or something,
tooth,
yeah.
but like I'm not staring at his mouth hardcore while he's speaking, so it's hard for me. Like personally, it was hard for me to always like keep it straight because unless I was staring right into Michael B. Jordan's mouth, like I wasn't sure. Like, wait, can you open your mouth again? So I can look at it.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
people who've seen that movie, they said that the characters are too close. With this movie in particular, the characters are so different that you can clearly tell them apart. And they are playing obviously identical twins because it's the same person playing both of them, but their characteristics are so different. Yes, one of them wears glasses, one of them doesn't, but even they took their glasses off. You could
And none of them were eye
no,
patches.
none of them were eye patches. But if they took their glasses off, you'd still be able to distinguish between them based on
Yes.
their personality alone. And I think
Right.
that was a really good job. Osgood Perkins, who I love, I think that he did a good job with this. That's kind of how I feel. I'm giving it an 8. What
Yeah.
about you?
I mean, so I kind of feel like I said already all of the things about it, like how it's fun, how the kills and the gore is worth the price of admission, how it's kind of like a caricature, how it doesn't take itself too seriously. So I think it's fun. I think I would give it an 8 based upon all those things. I was happy with it. It wasn't like a typical Stephen King, like for me, as far as like what I'm used to with him. So I liked it. I was happy with it. I thought it was really fun. It's weird. Sometimes people take it really seriously and they'll be like, well, whatever. But I'm like, where's our sense of like whimsy and fun, right? Like
Right.
sometimes things could just be fun. So for that reason, I give it an 8. You summed it up so well that I would just be repeating myself again and again. So double eights. I think our last review we also did the same score, another double score.
Oh, indeed we did. Indeed we did.
Well,
Okay, we're on the same vibe lately.
we are on the same vibe, and yeah, I think that was solid. I would recommend you watch it if this sounds like it's your speed. If you are going to take it super seriously, if you do want to be like super Stephen Kingy about it, maybe skip it. I don't know. I thought it was good though.
I agree. And I think the book is probably still worth a read. I
Oh
know
yeah.
that the book seems like it's going to be a lot less interesting than this,
Honestly though,
but
it's so short that even if it is less interesting, it's so short that you take how long does it take someone to read that? 10
Facts.
minutes,
Yeah, I
whatever.
might actually look into it. You know what? If we do that, then we can do like a little after dark and just like add it in, not a
Read
whole
it to
after dark on
people.
it. That's that. You know what? That's illegal on here. Did you know that?
You can't read them like a book.
No, like I thought about that because I talked about being a voice actor, and
Right.
one of the things I thought about doing on YouTube was reading books, like just reading like short books or reading kids'
Sure.
stories or something like that. Because of copyright, you can't do it on here. You can't read books on here. You have to write your own stuff and read your own stuff.
So how much could you like, because you know how you can use like very short video clips or you can use
Hmm.
like like stills, I mean
Yeah,
to a point, right?
there are
But
certain
it's
things that are
like
fair use. Yeah.
right, but like up to how much could you include of someone else's written work? Like could you give
So
like a few lines or you just
yeah.
can't?
No, you can give a few lines, but like I happened to see a girl at one point who had like something that was like it was like one of those books that gave little passages per day.
Right.
And she made vlogs, and in her vlog she would read one of those passages per day, and she got in trouble for that. And she wasn't even
Really?
doing like the full book or anything, but she was reading a full like a full page for that day. And I guess that's where the copyright comes in. And so
Okay.
I think if you're quoting something, obviously I think that's fine. If you're reviewing something, let's be honest, you're not going to read the whole book. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're
No.
just talking about it, you're not going to read the whole book. To read the
Hopefully.
whole book, because remember, we also have like Audible, and Spotify
Of
has
course.
audiobooks now, and there's Kindle and stuff. There are places where you can listen to audiobooks where you pay for it. So that's why on here it's
That's
like,
why, yeah, they don't want
yeah,
to just, if it's there's no money in it, they don't want it.
exactly.
Yeah, I was just wondering how much of the Raven I could say before we got banned. That's one for whatever reason. When I was in middle school, I took it upon myself to memorize that entire piece. Like I just had to. No one told me to
Yes.
do it.
You were
It
such
wasn't
a
for a
dark
grade.
child.
Just such a weirdo. Was walking into my first job. I was one of those kids that always like to carry my books in my arms. You know what I mean? Because I look like a cute little backpack, like a little cute one. The Exorcist. At my first, I was like 14, 15, like going into work. And my boss was like, my my giant complete works of Edgar Allan Poe. Normal reading kid
Yeah,
stuff.
of course.
Also, The Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors did do a whole Raven episode, so
They
that
did, and that
helps
was
to
good.
reinforce it where Bart was the Raven.
Yes, that was a good episode.
I know. All right. Well, I mean, I don't have any further thoughts about it. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, today I don't have anything else. I think we've added enough
We
today.
have we have added more than enough for today. All right, well, that sounds good to me. So we are going to wrap it up. We talked about Clown to Cornfield. We talked about the monkey. We talked about
Yes.
Stephen King. We talked about many things. Hope you enjoyed it on this After Dark. We'll see you next time with probably a regular episode, maybe not another back-to-back After Dark. We never know what's going to happen until we get there. Good night, flesh puppets.
Yes, flesh
Thanks for
puppets.
joining us.
Indeed. Take care.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys. I just thought about at the end, I just go, oh, I hate bugs, and put it at the end of the video.